welcome to DevRunner. My name is Paul. I'm an endurance runner and an RRCA certified running coach, and this is episode 5 of 245 at 52. In this series, I've been detailing my training as I work towards a 245 marathon, which I will run on December 11th at the Kiawah Island Marathon in South Carolina. In this episode, I'll be reviewing my training from Monday, September 6th, 2021 through Sunday, September 12th, 2021. So if you've been following along with this series, you know that last week was a down mileage week for me, and I had some time to reflect on what I needed to change for the rest of this cycle in order to make sure that I didn't burn out, that I didn't push myself too hard, because I started to feel, exactly that, a little bit burned out already after the first 4 weeks. So there are a lot of exciting new tactics and a new structure for my training week that I will review with you right now. But I also wanted to let you know right up front that this was my first week returning to the track. So very exciting stuff. All right, before we get in too deep, I just want to encourage you to like this video if you're enjoying my content. And please drop a comment or a question below so that everybody can get the benefit of your thoughts. And also, please subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to ding that bell so that you get notifications every time I post something new. Thank you so much. Monday was an easy recovery day for me, so I did 8 miles on the treadmill, took it nice and slow, 8:05 per mile, or about 7.5, 7.6 miles per hour. And as I alluded to earlier, Tuesday marked my return to track workouts for this training cycle, and I structured that workout as follows. I started with 2 400-meter intervals, and then followed that up with 2 800-meter intervals, and then did a single 1600, and then started laddering back down with 2 more 800-meter intervals, and then finished off with 2 more speedy 400-meter intervals. Rather than describing the speeds and all that, let's just cut to the footage that I have, and you can watch it for yourself. Here we go. Hey everyone, it's Tuesday morning, September 7th, 2021, and yes, I have returned to the track. It's time for some proper speed work, and so I'm here. All right, today's workout is going to consist of 2x400s, 2x800s, 1 1600, then 2 more 800s and 2 more 400s after that, sort of a ladder up and a ladder down, just very similar to the kind of workouts you saw me do in my previous training cycles for my 5K, 10K, and half marathon series. So, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Here we go. 400-meter interval, number 1, coming up right now. First interval, first one of the season. $129. $129. and 29. $59. $28. $24. $25. So as you can see, everybody, I gave it my all at the track on Tuesday. By no means does that represent the fastest I've ever been on a track workout, but I'll take it as my first go of the season. I'm perfectly happy. It pretty much met my expectations, so hopefully it's onward and upward from there. So as a result of that tough workout at the track, my legs were toast on Wednesday, so I took that as an easy day, and I ran 8 miles easy on the treadmill. I averaged 8:04s, I believe, per mile, and finished that run in 1 hour and 4 minutes. So with Wednesday's recovery run behind me, on Thursday I decided to go out and run outdoors for a 13-mile middle long run. And though I did get the 13 miles done, it definitely was a slow run for me. I was still feeling the effects of the track. My muscles are just not used to that kind of intense speed yet. So I think I averaged 8:25 per mile on that 13 miler. And I did run it on rolling terrain, so I'm happy. You know, I realize it's going to take a few weeks for my body to adjust to the kind of challenges that I'm throwing at it now, so good enough. Now, seeing as this is week 5 of an 18-week training cycle, I'm still very much in the strength building phase of this cycle. So I wanted to go out on Friday and do something that would challenge me a little bit despite the fatigue that I was feeling, and so I decided to go out and do a 10-mile hill workout out there on the roads. And luckily enough, there are plenty of rolling hills and plenty of big hills around the area that I live. So I trudged through it, and I'll tell you folks, it was a real challenge to get through that run. I felt pretty good, and I was keeping my paces in the low 8-minute range per mile at the beginning, but the built up fatigue from track day, and then the middle long run on Thursday, just the day before, caught up to me. So I was running like low 9-minute miles by the time I got to the end of that workout. But, you know, no doubt that is going to build strength. So over the next 3 weeks, my Friday runs will continue to be either strides or more hill runs where I'm really just kind of climbing and coming up and down, trying to build strength so that when 4 weeks have passed, I'm hopefully ready to do doubles on speed days. So, you know, because as you know, to hit a 2:45 marathon in December, I'm going to need plenty of speed as well as plenty of endurance. So after a good night's sleep on Friday, I jumped on the treadmill on Saturday morning and ran 7 miles at my easy recovery pace. This time I took it at about 8:30, 8:35 per mile. I'm not out to prove anything to anyone on these easy runs. I just wanted to make sure that my muscles get a chance to recover, to get some blood flow, build some mitochondria. I'm not out to go fast at all. And in fact, I was in such rough shape that I couldn't have moved fast even if I wanted to, just to be frank with everybody. So Sunday was my 18-mile long run, and I decided I was going to do it on the treadmill just to give my legs a little bit of a break. You know, it's a bit of a mind game when you run that far on the treadmill, but I thought it was more important to give my legs as much relief as possible. So I did run that 18-miler as a progression run, so please forgive me. I'm going to take a look at Strava so I can give you all the details. Basically, I spent the first 2.6 miles ramping up to 8.8 miles per hour, which is my aerobic sort of cruising pace, and that works out to 6 minutes and 48 seconds per mile. And then I spent the next 3.4 miles continuing to cruise at 8.8 miles per hour. Then for the second third of the run, the next 6 miles I was running at 8.9 miles per hour. And then once I reached the last 6 miles of the run, I ran the next 3 miles at 9.0 miles per hour. And then the final 3 miles of that 18 at 9.1 miles per hour. And I ran them in my Saucony Zealot 3s, which are my dedicated treadmill shoe at this point because it's a brand new pair. They're nice and squishy, and I just love that shoe. I just wish they were still making it. As far as my fueling for that long run goes, I used Tailwind, the green tea flavor, which contains some caffeine. I also took 2 Cliff Gels, one at mile 6, one at mile 12, and I took 2 run gums. I chewed 1 run gum before the run began, and then I took another one, I believe, at mile 14, just to see me through the last bitter final miles there. Now, as far as my nutrition and eating habits have gone in this past week, I have to admit I did not do as well as I'd like to. I snuck in a few more snacks than I'd like to admit, but nonetheless, I did manage to drop about 3/4 of a pound, so still moving in the right direction. Now, as far as my core routines go, all 7 of them got done as soon as I rolled out of bed as usual. And my free weight workouts, I got in 2 out of 3. I did one on Monday and I did one on Wednesday, but Friday, as you can tell by the way my running workouts went, I was just beat up. I didn't frankly think that a third free weights workout on Friday was going to be of much benefit to me. I was already overstressed and I just needed rest more than I needed anything else. I learned a lot during this week, and probably the biggest lesson that I'm going to take into week 6 is that I have to do a little bit more playing around with how I space out my harder workouts in order to be able to hit them as hard as I'd really like to. I'll probably put 2 easy days after my long run next week so that I can hit that track day a little bit harder on Wednesday instead of Tuesday, and I will probably put a little bit more rest in between track day and my middle long run, which may serve 2 purposes. I may put a little bit of tempo work in the middle of that middle long run just so that I can have it serve more than one purpose and still leave myself with enough rest before next week's 19-miler. So with that, everyone, I just want to thank you for sticking with me through this entire video. I hope you learned a thing or two, and as always, I just want to say, get healthy, stay strong, and keep pushing. Peace out. Catch you next week.